Welcome everybody. We're so excited to be hosting our first ever virtual HSS Orientation Informational Webinar. One, we just want to say congrats and welcome to Cal State Fullerton and the College of Humanities and Social Science. We're so proud of you. We're so excited to have you here today with us. We also want to kind of share some quick announcements before things begin. If you are worried that you cannot see yourself or other participants, please do not worry. This is a Zoom webinar. A Zoom webinar is a little different than a Zoom meeting. So in a webinar, you are not able to see yourself or the other participants. So we have almost 100 people on this webinar. You won't be able to see those 100 people on the webinar. You'll only be able to see the folks who are presenting today. So that's just to keep the focus on the content and the presenters rather than perhaps being distracted by other folks who may be here. So again, this is an informational webinar. This is not orientation. I see a question about that. So this is not orientation, but to go over the steps that are required to complete our HSS orientation, which is very, very important. So I will start with some introductions. My name is Dr. Connie Moreno Yamashiro, and I serve as your Assistant Dean for Student Affairs in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. And today I'll be co-presenting with your graduation specialist. So I'll pass it over to Mai.
Hi everyone, I'm Mai Warren, and I am the graduation specialist in the college, and I'm really excited and happy to be here with you all today.
Perfect. So in addition to us presenting today, we did want to share that we are recording this webinar. We're recording this webinar for a few reasons. So if we say information that you want to go back and review, you'll be able to do so. And then we also heard from lots of students that they're working or have other commitment during this time. And so we wanted them to still have the opportunity to receive the same information as you all did. So in the next couple days, we'll be posting this recorded webinar on our HSS Orientation website, which is hss.fullerton.edu. And again, like I said, if folks who are just coming in, if you're not able to see yourself, that is okay. That's how this webinar is set up. You will only be able to see the presenters and what we're sharing on our screen. With that, we will get going and get started. So let's All right, so a quick overview of today's presentation. The goal is to be done by 4 o'clock, so we'll be here for about an hour together. So we're gonna review the purpose of today and the goals for today. We're gonna review the different majors that are part of the humanities and social sciences, because there's lots of them, and we wanna make sure you're in the right spot and getting the correct information. We'll go online and we'll check out a few websites, one being the Titan Orientation Program's website, and then we'll visit our HSS Orientation website and all the steps that are required. We'll kind of conclude with reviewing the benefits of completing all the steps of HSS orientation requirements. So there's not one, there's steps, and that's why we're going to review those steps today. We're going to also, as I said, we've been hearing and listening to you all, and we know there's some questions that have been coming our way from you all, and so we'll have some frequently asked questions that have come our way, and we'll be able to answer those for you today. And then at the very end, we'll have a Q&A. So as you can see, we want you to, either at the bottom or the top of your screen, wherever the different functions are, you'll see a Q&A box. That's where you'll be able to enter the questions that you have for us, and then we will answer those at the very end. You're more than welcome to submit questions throughout the presentation, but again, we will answer those at the end. So the goal is hopefully by the end of the presentation, we have covered most of your questions, and if any questions remain, we'll answer them at that time. So hopefully that helps to get an overview of what to expect for today. So with that, I'll pass it over to Mai.
Okay, so the purpose of today is to, like Connie mentioned, is to give you an overview of the advising and registration process. We're going to review all the steps that are required of you as an HSS major to help you, understand GE, register for classes, and kind of understand the different components of your orientation. We will clarify any confusing steps or issues that you may have at this time. We'll answer any of your questions, like Connie mentioned, and provide you with additional resources that you needed. I want to emphasize that this is not an advising session. If you have registered for one of the department advising webinar or the GE support sessions, great, wonderful. That's what you should do. And you will get additional advising in those 2 sessions. So this is just kind of an overall informational session to answer any type of general questions you may have regarding those other 2 advising sessions that you will have.
Perfect. Thank you, Mai, for clarifying the goal and purpose for today. So moving on, go to the next slide. And we're going to discuss all of our majors that are part of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So again, this specific webinar is only for students who are part of the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. If you're part of a different college, that college has different requirements and perhaps different steps for you to complete. So the big takeaway from today is that, say you have a friend, a neighbor who is also entering Cal State Fullerton at the same time you are this coming fall semester, but you have different majors or perhaps you're in a different college, they're going to have different requirements and different dates and different deadlines. So it's really, really important that you follow your requirements through the College of Humanities and Social Sciences and what is expected of you based off of your major. So we have 23 majors, there's lots of them. So if you are American Studies, Anthropology, Comparative Literature, Criminal Justice, English, part of any of our ethnic studies, that includes African American Studies, Asian American Studies, Chicano Studies, French, Geography, History, Japanese, Latin American Studies, Liberal Studies, Linguistics, Philosophy, Political Science, Psychology, Public Administration, Religious Studies, Sociology, Spanish, and Women and Gender Studies. All of those majors belong to the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So if you see your major here, you are in the right spot, which is what we want you to be. If you are not seeing your major, that means that you belong to a different college. And again, we want you to follow those requirements from that different college. So we will be going over our requirements for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So next, we want to go over the website. So 2 websites in particular, as Mai mentioned earlier, that we're going to review is our Titan Orientation Programs website, and then our specific HSS Orientation website. So I keep on saying HSS, but I haven't clarified. We use a lot of acronyms at the university. HSS is an acronym, and that stands for Humanities and Social Sciences. So I'm going to be referring to that term, HSS, more than the longer, full-out terminology of Humanities and Social Sciences. And the reason why we want to go through these steps is because we acknowledge that there's different steps from the Titan Orientations website. There's also different steps on our website. And students are like, do I have to do both? Do I do some? Can I pick and choose? And the answer is you need to complete all of them. So you need to complete all the steps on the Titan Orientation Programs website, and you need to complete all of the steps on our HSS Orientation website. So give me a moment as I stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to pull up first a Titan Orientation Programs website. Okay, so now you should be seeing the Titan Orientation Programs website. Mai, can you just confirm that you are able to see the Titan Orientation Programs website?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. So this is where we're going to start off first, is this website, and then we're going to move to our HSS Orientation website. So this website, it says that you need to complete the following steps to satisfy your advising and orientation requirements. And I see that there's 3 steps. So we're going to go over those 3 steps. First step, freshmen and transfer students, major advising. Please select the academic college to reserve your advising and registration session. So we just went over all of our majors, right? Those 23 majors, lots and lots. Hopefully you all saw your major there. And if you did, you're in the right spot, like I said, and you're gonna wanna select College of Humanities and Social Sciences. If you did not see your major when I pulled up the list of majors in our college, that might mean that you're part of a different college. As you can see, we have 8 colleges at Cal State Fullerton. So Cal State Fullerton is a university that has 8 colleges. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences is one of 8 colleges, and then we have students who are not declared, and that's undeclared students. So again, this is where you're going to select if you saw your major in the screen prior. So that's step 1. And so we're going to come back to this, and I'm going to go through the other steps before coming back to that Humanities and Social Science website. Step 2 on the Titan Orientation Programs website is General Education Advising, also known as GE. Like I said, we use lots of acronyms. So GE is General Education Advising. Please complete your General Education Advising modules. They open June 1st. So that was last week. We've been hearing that so many of you have been completing your General Education Advising. We're so happy to hear that. If you have not yet completed your General Education Advising, please do so as soon as you can. When we go to our HSS Orientation website, I'm going to tell you the recommended date that we want you to complete this, which is pretty soon. So that's step 2. And you're going to pick, are you a freshman? Click this tab. And if you're a transfer, click this tab. Again, your neighbor might be a transfer student, but you're a freshman. So if you're a freshman, again, you're going to follow your lane, you're going to follow your path, and you're going to follow the deadline and requirements. So if your neighbor is a transfer, they're going to follow the transfer requirements for their major, for their college, etc. And that's okay. That you need to be following the specific steps for your process. So you get the best start and get all the proper advising that's needed. Moving on to step 3. I do like this reminder, I do appreciate it, so I will say remember to attend your virtual advising and registration session. That's when we'll talk about when we go to the HSS Orientation website. Step 3, Titan online programs. Please complete the mandatory online orientation option steps 1 and 2 are 1 steps and 2 are complete. So the last step is attending this Titan online program. So steps 1 and 2 are really heavy on advising. So they're focused on major advising and general education advising. So that's really important for you to be successful and enroll in the proper classes for the fall semester. But what the Titan orientation programs online support does, the video support, is ultimately sharing everything else that's not about academics or academic advising or the classes you have to take. So it's a general overview about the university. So you're going to learn about get involved opportunities, how to be safe at the university, and our safe speed protocols and procedures that are in place. And you're going to learn about all the amazing things that are offered and really how to navigate the university as a student. So all of those things I listed aren't connected to the academic advising elements because that's already been covered in step 1 and 2. So step 3, again, you're going to select the button that applies to you. New student orientation. So that's for freshmen or first-time students that we also call freshmen as. So freshmen are referred to a few different terms, so you might see that. So if you're like, who's a new student? A new student is referred to a freshman at the university. So if you're a freshman, that video will be available August 1st. And if you're a transfer, that video is going to be available next week. So again, I might be a freshman and I need to wait till August 1st, and my neighbor might be a transfer student and they get to view that next week. And again, that is okay. You got to follow your steps and your processes. So if once you complete all those, you're good to go. But I'm going to go back to that step 1 where it says humanities and social sciences. So we're going to click on that. And this takes you to our landing page. So hss.fullerton.edu/orientation. You'll see HSS Orientation at the top. And again, you're going to pick the option that applies to you. Are you a first-time student? So a freshman. Are you a freshman student? You're going to click here. Or are you a transfer student? You're going to click here. So I know likely on this webinar, we have a mix of students who are incoming freshmen and there's students who are incoming transfers, which is great. We're welcoming lots of students today and throughout the fall. First, we're going to talk about first-time students, which is our freshmen. So if you're a transfer, I want you to pause for a bit and we're going to review the first-time student process first, and then we're going to switch and then talk about the transfer process. So again, different processes, different dates. So first-time students. As you can see, it's going to say first-time students, so you know you're in the right spot if you're a freshman, an incoming HSS freshman. We have a welcome from the dean at the very top, and it has some important information before we even get to the steps. So all first-time students will have a general education advising hold placed on their student account. By completing the steps below, your hold will be released. We recommend all steps below are completed by June 15th. So I've already shared a few dates. So what I would highly encourage you all to do is take notes. If you have a planner, if you have a phone, add these dates to your calendar. Even if you have a piece of paper lying around, write these dates down, because it's going to be so important. And we acknowledge there's a lot of dates you have to know, but we want to make sure you write down all the dates and all the deadlines and when things are required of you, so you don't miss any of those steps or any of those processes. So June 15th is when we're saying complete steps 1 through 6. When's June 15th? That's actually coming up pretty soon, right? I believe it's Monday. So Monday is when we want you to complete all these steps on this page if you're a freshman. So again, we're just talking about freshmen. So if you're a freshman, we want you to complete all these steps by Monday, and that's just to ensure your holds get released and nothing is preventing you from registering when that time comes. Okay. So step 1, I'm going to pass it back over to Mai, and she's going to cover the first 2 steps.
All right. So step 1 is we want you to sign up for your major specific advising webinar. So you can see all the links on the page there, and you click on whatever your major is, for example, criminal justice, psychology, etc. And then it will allow you to sign up for a Zoom session. This is really important, and I really highly encourage you to do this, because this webinar will introduce you to your major department. You will get to meet some of the faculty in that department and the faculty advisors that will be working with you. They will introduce you to the discipline, what your major is about, and then what kind of courses, you know, you will be expected to take throughout, you know, the next 4 to 5 years. I can't express how important it is for you to do this, because, you know, if you think, okay, I want to do psychology or criminal justice, and then you find out what the major is really about, and you're like, well, that's not what I thought it was about at all. You know, the sooner you know that, the sooner you can decide to change your major, because you don't want to be invested in a major, you know, for, I don't know, 2 years, 2.5 years, and then decide this is not for me. And then that's going to take you much longer to graduate. So go to this webinar, get, you know, all the details on the advisor and requirements for your major. And then the advisors will also give you guidance on the classes that you should register for your first semester. Okay, so it's really important that you do this. All right, step 2. Step 2, once you sign up for the major webinar, is to sign up for a registration support session. So in this session, there will be a team of advisors, you know, which will include myself, and we are there to help you with the registration process. We can walk you through how to add your classes, what classes you should be considering, you know, what's a good schedule. You know, we will help you look at, you know, your final course load before you actually hit enroll. I know that some of you, or maybe a lot of you, have already started putting classes in your enrollment cart, and it's fine, you know, for you to play around and experiment, but I highly encourage you to still go to this registration support session to make sure that you are making, you know, the right selection in the appropriate classes for you your first semester. And I also want to remind you that just because you place classes in your enrollment cart doesn't mean that you will get those, the ones that you've selected. You know, registration is going on and classes are being closed constantly. And then certain classes you've selected, you may not be eligible to be in, you know, based on the prerequisites and things like that. And we definitely don't want freshmen to be in like a 300, 400 level classes. So there's all of the nuances of having the right course load and the schedule. And that's why we really highly encourage you to sign up for one of these sessions so that you know you're making the best decision for yourself this fall. All right.
Thank you, Mai. So I'll go over step 3. So step 3 is watch the HSS College Welcome video. So once you select this tab right here, it'll take you to a YouTube video where we have our College Welcome. And that's where you're going to meet our HSS Student Success team, which are various folks on the team who have great expertise anywhere from advising to getting involved to studying abroad, from career services, etc. These are the folks who are going to help you throughout your journey at the university. So we want you to, one, meet them. We also are going to go over information about the college, majors, minors, certificates, etc. We'll also go over career services. You'll hear from our experiential learning specialist, JC Cover. We'll also go over getting involved opportunities and scholarships, which we know are very important for students because that's free money that goes towards your tuition. So we want you to review that college welcome, and then right below it says to learn more about resources discussed in the college welcome, please review the below. So you'll get to see our student success team here. You'll click here and you'll see all the members there too. You'll learn a little bit more about who we are and how we support you. Campus Resource Guide has information about our student organizations and how to get involved and connected. Even though the fall will primarily be virtual, we still want you to get connected and engaged and feel like Cal State Fullerton is your home and where you belong. Career services, if you click on here, it'll take you to that website, and we want students as early as their first semester, first year at the university to get connected to career services. Even if you're a freshman, oftentimes students think that that happens way later in the journey, but it really needs to be starting as early as possible. HSS 100 will cover that when we do our advising. So again, this is not an advising session, but once you get advising at our orientation, you'll learn about this course. It's intended for just first-time freshmen. So it's really to get the best start at the university, and we go over that in the video, but more details are at this website. We also highlight some of the programs and services we have, and then a little bit more about the majors and departments offered within our College of HSS. Step 4, review the specialized support offered by your student success team. So members of the student success team will offer virtual hours, myself included, and we list off the dates. So we're going to do this on these dates only. So June 22nd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 30th, July 1st, 2nd, 6th, and 7th. Please use the Zoom link to visit our office hours. So if you're, again, I'm highly encouraging you to take notes, write down this information, put it on your calendar, put it on your phone. If you're like, oh, I'm not available the 22nd, but I am available July 30th, let me visit the success team and learn a little bit more, you're going to click on this button. Once you click on this button, it's going to take you to one of us. So the first person that you can have the opportunity to connect with is JC Cover. He'll be available from 10 to 11 on all of these dates listed above. 10 and 11, you go here and you click this button, you're going to get JC. And he's going to talk about studying abroad and studying away opportunities that will be available to you while you're at Cal State Fullerton. If you want to learn more about campus resources, how to navigate the university, how to be successful, learn a little bit more about scholarships, or if you simply want to talk to a student, a current student who has been at Cal State Fullerton, who has been a student in a virtual format and an in-person format, you just want to get some insight, visit us I'll be hosting this along with an undergraduate student from 11:30 to 12:30, again on all of the dates listed above. The third person you have the opportunity to meet is Melody Lim as your career specialist, and Melody will be available from 2:30 to 3 o'clock, again on all of those dates. So if you want to meet with all of us, you're more than welcome to do so and visit us at our designated times during our virtual office hours, but this is a spot where you're going to be able to connect with us. So again, we want you to get exposed to as many opportunities that the university has, and connecting with us is that first step in doing so. So I'm going to pass it back over to Mai to share steps 5 and 6.
All right. So step 5 is to review academic roadmaps for your major and links to department advising pages. So Connie, were you going to click on the academic roadmaps?
Are you able to see the roadmaps, Mai?
Can you scroll down a little bit? Yes, and then click on College of Humanities. Okay, so if you click on one of these majors, let's click American Studies, for example, it will show you kind of a pathway. You know, this is a suggested pathway on how you can plan your classes, you know, for your first year, second year, third year, and so on. So this is a recommended pathway. It's by no means set in stone because, you know, things may come up and, you know, things change. And so you may have to adapt. And of course, you know, you would do this in conjunction with speaking to a major advisor or a GE advisor. So if you're interested in just kind of have an overview, a general idea of what you should be planning and what the next 4 years could look like, this is a good start for you. And then the department advising sites. This will, again, link you to all of the major departments in our college. You can just click on one And then this is essentially your major department website. So it has information about advising in your major department, how you contact your major advisor. It will have like faculty, a listing of all the faculties that teach in your major department, and then any other resources that pertains to your specific major are housed at the department major website. Okay, so that's a really good resource. I would check that out as soon as you can. And then the third link there is the CSUF catalog. Okay, so this is an online catalog. This is where all of the degree requirements, graduation requirements, academic policies, anything and everything pertaining to our university and requirements and resources are in the CSUF catalog. And then in addition, this is also where you can find course descriptions. So, if you're like looking up classes and, you want to know what that class is about before you sign up for it, you can go to the course descriptions and then, put in the course prefix and number, or you can just scroll down and find a course that you want to take, and then it will tell you what it's all about. So this is a really good resource. I used my catalog a lot when I was an undergraduate because, I want to find interesting classes, and if something doesn't sound interesting to me, then, I tend to stay away from it. But, so I suggest that you check that out as well. It's very helpful. All right. And then step number 6 is to complete your GE modules by June 15th, like Connie mentioned. So I think I saw in the chat that somebody said that they finished the GE modules and the hold was not removed. So I was told that the hold for the GE advising modules are removed daily. So if you do your GE modules today, essentially it should be removed by the end of the day, but I would give them until the next day. And you would just go back into your student center, and under holds, that GE hold should be gone. Okay, if it's still there and you have done it already, then we will let you know how to contact someone about that later in the FAQs.
Thanks, Mai. And just lastly, some additional campus resources, so disability support services. So should you need accommodations during orientation or while at Cal State Fullerton, DSS is available to support and answer any questions. Departments are currently working virtually, and so they are available virtually via Zoom during their normal hours, 8 to 5. And if you click on this button, you'll be able to visit their website for further details on how to register through their office. The second resource we wanted to highlight, and Mai will go over in a little bit, is the Center for Careers in Teaching. And so if you click here, it will take you to the page. So a lot of students in our College of Humanities and Social Sciences are interested in being a teacher. So that's a history teacher, English teacher, really any major in our college could be a teacher if they're interested in it. And so because of that, we have strong partnerships and relationships with our Centers for Careers in Teaching. So this is a website you would definitely want to check out if you were interested in becoming a teacher, because you can complete this interest form. I know they're hosting specific orientation sessions for students. And so this website is really, really helpful. And we want to make sure you complete the proper courses when it comes to the teaching element of your career path. So hopefully that is helpful to you. So again, all of this information that Mai and I went over, so steps 1 through 6 and all these additional resources, this is only for first-time students. So hopefully that helps as we walk through that information. And if we just go back to the main homepage, we're now going to discuss transfers. So again, transfer students, that information we just discussed does not apply to you. And first-time students, freshmen, the information we're going to discuss right now with transfer students does not apply to you. You're going to only go to the page that has the information that is applicable to where you're at, either first-time student, also known as a freshman, or transfer students. So let's go to transfer student website. So again, we'll have a welcome from our dean, Dean Fontaine. She'll welcome you all to the college. And again, there's important information at the very top, right before the step 1. We recommend all steps below are completed by Sunday, June 21st. And that's so you're prepared and you're good to go by June 22nd when you're able to register. And so again, this deadline and this date is different than what we discussed with the freshmen. And so again, transfer students, I would highly encourage you to take notes and make a note of all of these dates and make sure you are reaching those deadlines. So nothing is preventing you from moving forward in the process. So step 1. As I said, from the freshman side, transfers also have major specific webinars. And so you will find your major here, somewhere here. And when you do, you're going to select it. And so you're actually going to register for it. So it's going to ask for some basic contact information. And then I'll send you the link and the information for the webinar. So the webinar, again, is this overview about the major. So it's going to go over the courses, the sequence of classes that would be appropriate for you. They're also going to talk about co-curricular involvement, perhaps research opportunities available. So anything related to the college or to the department and to the major itself, they're going to review and share all of that information with you. So it's a great overview. It is a webinar similar to this that we're doing right now is a webinar. So similar to what we have right now, you won't be able to see yourself or other folks in it, but you'll be able to see the presenter. But just like today, you will also still be able to submit questions and get your questions answered. And so the goal is that the major department will share this great overview about the department, the opportunities available, the courses that are required, and then you'll also be able to submit questions. So the goal is ideally through this major specific advising webinar, you'll get all your questions answered. But if not, if there's some really specific questions that you still have after that, we have some optional advising support. So students who have received and attended that major advising webinar, they can meet with a major specific or general academic advisor for any questions that they have, again, after they've attended that webinar. So if there's any pending or remaining questions that you have, we want to be able to offer the support either from the major perspective or general education perspective. Or if you want us to check your schedule and make sure you're enrolled in correct courses, great, we can do that as well. So again, we are offering that support. So let's finish reading the next sentence. Sign-ups will be available by 10:30 on June 22nd. So right now, you're not seeing those sign-ups right now. And that's because we want you to first attend the webinar, hopefully get all your questions answered. But if there's any remaining, you'll be able to talk to a major advisor one-on-one or general academic advisor through our HSS Success team. So again, those links for additional support will be available by 10:30 on June 22nd. We did just update our website with this information. So transfer students, if you have not yet seen this or is like, oh, I didn't remember seeing that before, we made that update today just so you knew that it was coming and when to prepare, when to know to sign up should you have any remaining questions after you've attended that webinar. So hopefully that helps understand. Get an understanding of what would happen next. So major advising, there's some optional additional support should you need it. And those optional advising support will be available on June 23rd or June 29th, and they'll vary by department, which is also known as your major. So again, hopefully that will help to know that once you're done with the webinar, there's still support available should you still need it. Okay, so let's move on to that second step, and that's the college welcome video. Again, you'll meet the success team, you'll see your dean, you'll be able to learn about the college, about the career center, study abroad, study away, getting involved, scholarships. It's about a 30-minute video, so we highly encourage you to watch that, and then click on these additional links for further information about the specific information that is covered in that college welcome video. So again, we highly encourage you to click on all of them and learn a little bit more. The third step is gaining that specialized support from your student success team. So we'll offer support and resources on 2 days. So June 23rd from 8:30 to 12. Oops, sorry. And then on June 29th from 1 to 4:30. So on 2 days, we're going to be offering this virtual support. So it'll be a Zoom room, so not a webinar, so a Zoom meeting room. We'll do that 23rd in the morning and on the 29th in the afternoon. So you'll have those different options. And if you want to meet with any of the folks on the success team, you're going to click here and that will give you access to the Zoom, and we'll be able to be there during that entire time frame, either 8:30 to 12 on the 23rd or on the 29th from 1 to 4:30. So if you wanted to meet with your career specialist, Melody Lim, and start talking about maybe on-campus jobs, off-campus jobs, virtual jobs, or if you're thinking of graduate school, especially if you're a transfer student, that really needs to start your first year while at Cal State Fullerton, because you always apply to different graduate programs 1 year in advance, and then you need some prep time before that. So within your first year of transferring to Cal State Fullerton, if you want to go to grad school, we highly encourage you to get connected to the career Center, and this is a great way to start that conversation with your career specialist, Melody Lim. Also, if you want to connect with JC Cover and study abroad and study away, most students who are transfers want to graduate in 2 years, and so that really means you have 2 years to either study abroad or study away. So having those conversations as early as possible is going to work in your benefit. And then again, myself, I'm hosting, along with a current undergraduate student, who's also a transfer student, really little sharing about the campus resources, how to navigate being a student, talking about scholarships, and really if you just want to hear from a student and how they're navigating being in a virtual format and also an in-person format as being a Cal State Fullerton student, you definitely want to attend. So this one link gives you access to these 3 sessions. So when you hop into this link, you'll be able to identify who you want to connect with. And if you want to connect with all 3, awesome. If you're just looking to connect with one of these, you'll be able to state that and we'll connect you to the correct person. And again, the dates are here. And then I will pass it over to Mai to go over steps 4 and 5.
All right, so step 4 is similar to what I covered with the freshmen. Again, these are academic roadmaps for your major and your department advising pages. The academic roadmaps for transfers will lay out a 2-year plan. You know, each semester kind of a recommended course layout. And of course, like I said before, it is not set in stone. It is just so you can have a general idea of what your schedule could look like semester by semester. And of course, you know, you would always plan for classes in conjunction with speaking to your major advisor or GE advisor. So if you want to graduate in 2 years, that kind of give you an idea. You know, some of you may need to take a little bit longer. So like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. And then the same with the department advising websites, the same exact website with all of the major information, different resources, you know, clubs, orgs, how to contact, you know, faculty members and other opportunities that's available in your major department. And then the third one again is the CFUF catalog, which is again everything and anything relating to, you know, the university is in this catalog. And you can look up stuff by college, you know, look up academic policies that you want to know about, you know, certain, you know, GPA requirements or things like that. You know, you can find all of that here. All right. And then again, the course description function, which is really useful. And then step 5 for transfer students is to watch the general education video and then how to register. So this video will go through the general education plan required for transfer students. You know, transfers, most of you, if not all of you, will have completed your lower division GE requirements, but you do have at least 3 more upper division GE classes that you have to complete at Cal State Fullerton. So you're not done with GE yet. And so this video will cover that and then walk you through the steps under how to register, okay? And then again, your department webinar will also cover GE requirements and the type of classes that you should select for GEs and in the 3 different categories that you'll need. So it's important that you do this before you actually enroll, even if you have courses in your cart already, so that you have a better idea of what you should be selecting.
Thank you, Mai. And then additional resources, the same as a freshman one. So this is one thing that is the same. So disability support services, should you need accommodations throughout orientation or during your time at Cal State Fullerton, we want you to get connected and registered through that office. So you'll select that button. And then Center for Careers and Teaching. Again, if you are interested in becoming a teacher, we highly encourage you to get connected with that office as soon as possible so you get the proper support in regards to becoming a teacher in the future. So these are all the steps 1 through 5 for transfer students. So hopefully that helps. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and go back to our PowerPoint and cover a few additional points. So let's go back here. Give me 1 second. Okay. And then Mai, can you just confirm that you can see visit the orientation website? Or Robin?
Yes,
Sorry, I was on mute. Click again.
Oh, okay. You can see the PowerPoint now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Mai will talk a little bit about the Center for Careers in Teaching.
Okay, so as Connie has mentioned a couple of times already, that if you are thinking about a career in teaching, you know, or you might want to pursue a credential after you're done with your bachelor's degree, I really highly encourage you to reach out to an advisor in the Center for Careers in Teaching. They are a center full of advisors designed specifically to support students who want to go into teaching. There are specific classes that you can take along the way as part of your undergraduate degree that will prepare you for the credential program, and that will also meet some of their course prerequisites for the credential program. So it's really strategic. You know, if you want to pursue a teaching career later, that you can incorporate some of these classes into your bachelor's degree along the way to save you time and money and to really better prepare you, you know, to jump into it right after you graduate. So they provide workshops throughout the semester and the year. They provide you direct advising with courses that you should take, and then prepare you for the credential. They have a lot of resources that could help you with the exams that you're going to need, like to get into the credential, such as the CBEST and things like that. And then just overall, they're just a great support network, you know, for people who want to become future teachers. So do it if teaching is in your future. I've had seniors come into my office, you know, at the end, like the year before, and they want to go into teaching, and now there's all of these classes that they would have to take, you know, before they can get into the credential program. And if they gotten the advising much earlier along the way, they could have completed all of those courses already, and it would count for their bachelor's degree also. So they are a valuable resource that you should take advantage of. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you, Mai. So next, we're going to go over the benefits of completing all of our HSS steps. So we had two different options for freshmen and then transfer. So you're going to pick the option that applies to you. But really the number one and one of the top reasons for you to complete all of these steps is because you're going to learn about the courses you need for your major. So you're going to get the academic advising that you need. And I know so many students are like, when can I get advising? When can I meet with somebody? Like these steps are going to help you to get there. And your dates when you meet with your advisor or have the webinars, they're all listed on the website. So we hear you and it's coming. So it's coming really soon. We just need you to wait at this like a week and a half or so for you to connect with your academic folks. So again, you're going to meet with HSS faculty and staff advisors. So the faculty advisors are for your major, and then your staff advisors are for your general education advising or general advising that you may receive. Another benefit of completing all the HSS steps is that an advisor can actually check your schedule before you register to make sure you've enrolled in, or you're going to enroll in the correct courses. Oftentimes we hear students like, did I sign up for the correct courses? Did I hear this correctly from my major advisor and then from the general education modules that you completed? Well, you can have that like relief to know like that an advisor can check off on your schedule to ensure you're taking the appropriate courses. So hopefully you all will take advantage of that by completing all of the steps again. Another benefit is that you're going to learn about the support offered through your success team. So you're going to get that advising, you're going to learn about experiential learning, so studying abroad, studying away, the importance of career services and prepping now for a future career or graduate school, and also ways to get involved, get connected, and feel that sense of community at Cal State Fullerton, because often that sense of community and that sense of belonging is what keeps students going throughout their journey. And lastly, like you get to explore classes. So normally that was the last step, or one of the last steps is like explore classes, check out the roadmaps, go to the catalog, look up courses. Students are often like, what courses are offered? You can literally look up any course that's available. So we pulled up some of those ethnic studies courses through African American studies. So again, you can look at any course you want, see the description there. And so we want you to explore and do that. And you could do that now until your advising session or your advising webinar comes up, and again those dates will vary. So these are the benefits, and we want you to complete all of those steps whether you're a freshman or a transfer student. So right now we're going to transition to some frequently asked questions. So again, we've been hearing you and we've been taking note of that, so we're trying to capture as many questions that we've been hearing, and Mai's going to start off with this first slide.
Okay, the first question we've been asked a lot by students lately is, what if I'm having technical issues with accessing and completing the GE modules? Like if you cannot access the GE modules in your student center via the titanium, the directions that you were given, you can email Randy Montes in the Academic Advising Center. His email address is right there on the screen. Jot it down. And then also for the student that said you completed your GE modules already and the hold is still there, you can also go ahead and email Randy and let him know that you've done it and how come you still have the hold, and he should be able to help you with that. All right. Second question, I want to change my major. When can I do that? Okay. You can do that the first day of the fall semester. So you have the fall semester will have to start, and then you can find the form to change your major on the CSUF registration and records website. Okay, so don't worry about it now. Once the semester starts, if you have trouble finding the form, you can contact one of us in the college and we will direct you to the form. Okay, but you have to wait until the semester starts to do that. We get this question a lot too. What's the difference between GE classes and major courses? Or why do I have to teach GE courses? I thought the whole point of me coming to college is to study what I want to study. So, fair question. So GE courses are courses that are outside of your major. Okay, so you've selected a major, and in your major, you're only going to focus on that discipline. You're going to do a deep dive in, let's say you're a psychology major, you're going to take all psychology classes and you're going to learn everything about every aspect of psychology. General education classes are designed to give you a wider lens of other disciplines that are available at the university. Okay, so it's giving you breadth of knowledge, and it's part of what we call your liberal arts education. So we don't want you to just be, tunnel vision with just one discipline. We want you to be able to see how the same topic or same issues are explored in other disciplines. And it's through GE classes that you may discover other interests, other topics that you may not even think you'd be interested in. So that's the difference, and that's why GE is an important component of your degree. All right. How do I know if I completed my GE advising module? So like I mentioned before, you just go into your student center the following day, just give them at least 24 hours, and under the holds area, that GE advising hold should be gone. Okay, and if it's not, email Randy Montes. And then the last question I have is, if I have passed my AP exams, how will I know I will get the college credit for the AP exams I passed? So if you've taken any AP exam and received at least a score of 3, you will most likely get some type of credits or course equivalencies for those exams. So it's really important that you go to the list, the link that we provided here, and it will list all of the AP exams, IB exams, any CLEP exams that you may have taken, and it will show you the score, the minimum score required to get credits, and then it will show you how those credits will be used at Cal State Fullerton. So before you enroll in any of your like lower division GE classes like written communication or math or US history, etc. If you've taken one of those AP exams, make sure you check the list to see if you're going to get credit, so that you don't enroll in another class and waste your time and money. All right. So that's there for you to look at as you plan out your schedule.
Great, thank you, Mai. And again, this will be recorded, so you'll be able to access this afterwards. So we have a second slide of FAQs. Again, we said we've been hearing you, we have. So we've noticed earlier this week, students said, I received an email but an update about my registration support session. So those students who have registered, signed up for a registration support session, I'm specifically speaking to freshmen right now, so this only applies to freshmen. You received perhaps an email that just says something has been updated about your registration support session. So that was a technical glitch that our office was trying to resolve. Our administrative support assistant, Robin Gomes, has been fantastic in supporting students in this, but is anything required of you? No. Did anything change? No. Did your date or time change? No. everything is the same that you signed up for that registration support session. Again, this is only for freshmen. And so we apologize for that technical glitch on why that message went out, but nothing changed. You students who, if you have not signed up for a registration support session, which is part of your steps freshmen, you will be able to get your Zoom link within about 24 hours. So I said, Robin Gomes has been really instrumental in this process. So she's been emailing students on a daily basis for students who have been signing up. So anyone who still needs to do that, you will be getting your confirmation, and hopefully no more technical glitches. All right, so what's the difference between a university, a college, and a major? So Cal State Fullerton is a four-year university. So that is the university you are attending. At the university, we have 8 colleges. The College of Humanities and Social Sciences, 1 of 8 colleges. And so university, Cal State Fullerton, college, humanities and social sciences. And then you all have a major. So that major belongs to that college. So your major is 1 of 23 majors within HSS. So again, we know this information might be new for some of you. You may already know this, which is fantastic, but just clarifying it because this is new language. And I definitely acknowledge and recognize that. Next, can I register for fall courses on June 22nd? Even though I haven't attended an advising session. So we highly encourage you, a few slides before we say complete all of those steps. It is so important that you get academic advising. So you got a portion of advising through your general education modules if you completed those already, and we want you to complete those by Monday. But we also want you to sign up for these major advising sessions and general advising sessions should you need them, based on if you're a freshman or transfer. So it's so important that you get advising before signing up for your courses because you're only getting a piece of the information you need by completing those GE modules, and we want you to get that full picture. In order to get that full picture, complete all of the steps, especially the academic advising steps. All right, I still have questions about my major. Who should I contact? So we want you to pause and hold on reaching out to your major until after you've completed your major advising webinars and support. And so if you have questions still, the first step you need to do is register and attend a major advising webinar to get all your major specific questions answered. So that's what you need to do. And then you got to wait until that date comes up. That date for the major advising webinars is on June 22nd. And so we know, again, that's a week and a half and that feels like forever, but it'll come sooner than you imagine. So one, register if you haven't. Register for not classes, but the major advising webinar. And so please do that and attend the major advising webinar to get all your major questions answered. Lastly, will fall 2020 classes be virtual? So it was shared with us that by the campus, an overwhelming majority of classes at CSUF will be delivered virtually. Some exceptions might be made, very limited, based on classes, for classes that are held in person, and that's for some labs and some studio courses. But we can expect a majority, overwhelming majority will be virtual. And so should you be in a class that is in person, you will be notified, but again, you should pretty much expect that you will be virtual unless otherwise told. And again, another benefit of attending our advising sessions that we go over this information. So hopefully that helps. I've been seeing lots of Q&A questions come through, and we're gonna make sure we get to them as long as, so I see a good amount of them. So I'm gonna pull that up really quick, and I'll have Mai also review that with me.
Yeah, hopefully we've answered some of these along the way throughout our presentation.
Yeah, and I know,
Okay, so
I think my audio might have been cutting out a little bit. So just to confirm about fall 2020 being virtual, we will overwhelmingly be virtual. Classes will overwhelmingly be virtual in the fall. So you should expect that we will be virtual unless otherwise notified by the instructor. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully I came in clear. So sorry for the technical glitch that I might have been chopping up. But Mai, go ahead.
okay, so the first one I see, I have selected my classes for checkout, but it says I cannot register yet. Why is that? It's because your appointment has not happened yet. Okay, all of you, most of you will not be able to register until at least June 22nd. And that's why we want you to do all of these steps, get you prepared, and then on June 22nd, when your window opens, that's when you can actually enroll in classes.
And then
Okay.
also just to clarify, please submit your questions to the Q&A box. I acknowledge that it seems like there's a Zoom chat available. We prefer you not submit your questions there. Please submit through the Q&A box so we can make sure we're getting your questions. I think we got a few through the chat. So again, Q&A box is where you want to be. So if you were to change your major in the next few years, how will you be able to meet their requirements with only a limited amount of time? Maya, do you want to cover that?
Yeah. So if you decide to change your major within the next few years, like I think I mentioned before, you're changing course halfway through your career, you're just going to extend your graduation time. So you'll just have to finish up whatever new requirements that are required in that new major. So that's why I can't emphasize enough that you get to know your major, your current major right away, to see if this is something for you, and if it's not a good fit, explore other options and change it, as early as possible so that you don't delay your graduation time.
Great. I'm going to skip down to a question that says, when and who do we contact regarding general education advising? I'm a transfer student, so is there a specific date that I should look out for? So you definitely want to review the general education modules. You absolutely want to sign up and attend the major specific webinars that we're hosting. And then after that, you'll be able to sign up to meet one-on-one with a major advisor or one-on-one with one of our general academic advisors through our Success Center. So again, we want you to go back to that website, sign up for the webinars, and then on June 22nd by 10:30, transfer students only, you'll be able to sign up with a one-on-one major advisor or one of our student success team general education advisors. So hopefully that helps. Is a first-year graduate student considered a freshman? No. So graduate requirements are very, very different than a first-time freshman who is coming in straight out of high school. So I would highly encourage you to connect with your graduate department to see the requirements that are required for your specific program, because those would be very different than what we discussed today. But great question. Switching majors, Maya, you touched upon that a little bit.
Yeah, so is that the one that says how exactly do we switch majors?
Do we switch majors? Yes.
Okay, so before you switch majors, I encourage you to go to that new major that you want to go into and talk to one of the faculty major advisors in that department. Okay, so you'll want to discuss if it's a really good fit for you, what are the requirements that you need and how long is that going to extend, your time to degree. And then if it's all good, then you can submit the change of major form.
So a transfer student says, will transfer students still be able to register for upper division classes even if their official transcripts haven't been processed yet?
Yes, they will be. But I highly advise them to, talk to a major advisor or go to the registration support to confirm. But yes, transfers, you are coming in with junior status, so you will be able to enroll in upper division classes.
I have another question. Is it mandatory to meet with the specialized support offered by the student success team? So studying abroad, studying away, career specialists, and then navigating resources. Again, we highly encourage you to do that, to connect with one of us, because that will be part of your journey at Cal State Fullerton. So we encourage you to do so to get the most out of it. Especially, I don't know if this is coming from a freshman or transfer, but if there's a transfer, I'd highly encourage you to connect with Melody Lynn, the career specialist, to talk about next steps, especially if you're interested in graduate school, which will be coming up way sooner than we seem like. So a question, are all GE classes for freshmen scattered through campus buildings or all GE classes in the same building? So once we're able to come back, we haven't got word quite yet that that's happening, but when we're able to go back, because we will go back, the classes are spread out throughout campus. And when you register for classes, you'll be able to see the room location. So we'll have the building and then the floor that it's located in the specific room. So they're not all in one building, but they're really spread throughout, and that really varies by the classes that you're enrolling in. So sometimes students might be in the same building and have 2 or 3 classes in the same building, but I don't want students to assume that that will be the case all the time. They're spread out there throughout various buildings on campus.
And then I also want to add that some of our classes are offered at the Irvine campus. It's actually in the city of Irvine. You know, so when we are back in person, some classes will be offered there only. So make sure you look at the location. You know, if you don't want to drive to Irvine, and don't select that class.
Great point, because that has happened. So
Yes.
I'll be specific and say Irvine Center. Okay. When we register, are we going to do it alone, or will help be available? So help will be available. I don't know if this is a freshman or transfer. So for freshmen, you'll be able to sign up. That's part of the steps for registration support and get support there. And if this is a transfer student, starting at 10:30 on June 22nd, you'll be able to sign up for one-on-one general academic advising support, and they can help you through the registration process should you need that. So yes, there will be support whether you're a freshman or transfer, but again, follow the instructions and directions on the HSS orientation page.
There's a question here about the Navigate app. Do you see that, Connie?
Yeah.
It'd be important. Okay, so the Navigate app is a pretty new app. It's very useful. I don't know if, you know, any specific major department is going to be, you know, participating in pushing out information on that app actively, but it's going to provide you with other really useful university advising, you know, deadline reminders and things like that. So it's you know, it can't hurt to have it.
One of the first questions we got earlier in our session at 3:10, it was from an anonymous attendee, some really specific questions about their psychology registration support. It did come up as anonymous, so I would prefer that you email us this question and we can look into it, just because it's rather specific and may not apply to all students on this session. So I'll click it now. I'll click the slide so you get our contact information right here. So anonymous attendee who sent a message at 3:10 about their specific psychology registration support, feel free to email us here on this website. So again, questions about general education, who do you contact? So
I was about to type that in.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Can I go ahead and type that in?
Yes.
So you can contact academic advising. acadvice@bulletin.edu. There you go.
So the webinar on psychology is on June 22nd. How can I finish by June 21st? I'm not too sure what the question is alluding to, but you do have to wait for that webinar to get the major specific advising through that webinar. So again, not too sure if this was a freshman or a transfer, but regardless, June 22nd or when both freshman and transfer webinars will be held. And so you do have to complete that and get your major specific advising before you move on to any next steps. So you can't complete it earlier because it doesn't happen until June 22nd. So hopefully that makes sense.
Are you, Connie, do you see the question about when we sign up for academic counseling?
Oh, do you want to take that one? Okay, go ahead.
There's a step that asks, where would you, I don't know what step that is or which academic counseling the student is referring to. But if you're doing one of the major department webinar, I think they do have the option to sign up for a one-on-one, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So if you're a transfer student, afterwards you can meet one-on-one with your major advising, and so you'll get that information after the webinar. So I think once everybody attends a webinar, whether you're a freshman or transfer, and that's a major specific webinar, you'll get like the next steps on what to do. But again, please, please, please follow the steps on our website and making sure that you have signed up for a webinar, registered for a time to meet one-on-one with an advisor if that applies to you. Will more classes be available by the time you register on the 22nd? That really is on a case-to-case basis. For some more popular classes that all students have to take, especially freshmen, like English and HCOM, etc. There might be some additional sections, but for the most part, it really depends on the course. So I would almost expect that what you see is what will be available, and there might be some slight additions based on need.
This question about what if we want to teach at a community college or CSU as something to do on the side. If you want to teach psychology at some point, does that mean I need to get a credential? So a credential is usually required if you want to teach at the K-12 level. Typically, you know, if you want to teach at a community college or a four-year university, a credential is not required. But I encourage you to talk to the Center for Careers in Teaching and then just explore your question more with them as to really what your plan is, your focus is. But typically, K-12 requires a teaching credential.
How can you get an advisor? So at the university, we have multiple advisors. Say once the fall semester begins, there's general education advising through the Academic Advising Center. So that's fullerton.edu/AAC. We also have our student success team. We have advisors that support specific population, and then there's major specific advising. And so again, those are the three entities and support systems in place for advising. So based on your major, you collect your major advising, and if you're interested in general education advising after orientation, you complete all these steps, that would be the Academic Advising Center.
All right, I love this question. Just for clarification, we should hold off on creating an ed plan or our courses until we have our major specific advising session. Then we can confirm in a different advising session that our classes are on the right path. Yes, it's always a good idea to create your plan in conjunction with an advisor. Okay, so that you don't overlook anything.
And again, the question was, where would the Zoom recording be placed? So this will be on hss.fullerton.edu/orientation. And we're hoping to have that in the next couple of days. So you'll be able to come back and review the recording. Mai, do you want to take the question about AP scores, maybe not being out yet? How will they know what classes to sign up for?
Okay, so first of all, go to one of our registration support sessions. And then second, look at that AP list that we provided you the link to, and then you can look on there to see which AP test you've taken, and if you've taken a 3 or higher, gotten a 3 or higher, I mean, hold off on registering for that class. Okay, so let's say you took a test in AP, you know, government or history, then don't sign up for a class in that GE area just yet until all your scores come in.
How do you know when our registration date is? So technically that opens up on June 22nd, but again, we want you to go to all those major advising webinars and those academic advising support before actually registering and enrolling in your classes.
And your registration date and time is listed in your student center. You know, when you log into your student center, it'll be on the right-hand side.
Yeah, so you'll go to fullerton.edu and then you'll be able to click your student center. It's on that home page, that landing page on the right side. It actually has your date and time appointment. Is it possible we'll come back during the fall? Is there any hope? I know some students are really eager to be back in person, but as of right now, as of today, as of this minute and hour, we are told that we are overwhelmingly be virtual. But again, that could always change. But as of right now, that's what we're being told. and we will be in communication. And it's always good to check the fullerton.edu website. At the very top, there's an orange tab that gives COVID-19 updates, and that's where you'll see messages that go out to all students at the university. So check your CSUF email, check our homepage and our COVID-19 website to get the latest updates should anything change.
This question from Omar Diaz. If I had questions regarding my recently updated TDA and how it may affect the classes I register, would I bring this up during my major specific advising webinar, or should I join the optional advising support offered on June 23rd to 29th? What a great question. I think you should do both. I think you should do the major advising webinar both first. If it doesn't clear up, you know, you might want to do the one-on-one with your major advisor. And then if that still doesn't help you, then definitely come to the advising support sessions on the 23rd to the 29th, because that's where all of the advisors on our team will be there, and we will definitely be able to help you.
One of the questions, would anything be affected if my hold has not been cleared by the date of the advising session? So if you have not completed, for freshmen, your general education modules, you will not be able to register because you have to complete that first before your hold could be lifted. So you want to make sure, again, you complete all of those steps by the recommended date. So freshmen, we're recommending all of the steps be done by Monday, June 15th. For transfer students, we're recommending all the steps be done by June 21st, by Sunday. So by June 22nd, everyone could be ready for the webinars that are going to be hosted through our college. So our major specific webinars.
There's a question here about adding classes to the cart, but some classes aren't open. Yeah, so if class is closed, you're not going to be able to enroll in it, or I don't even know if it's going to allow you to put it in the cart. But yeah, classes are closed and you would just have to select other options. And then remember, just because you're able to put classes in your cart right now, it may not be available by the time you go to register for it. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
Mai, do you want to talk a little bit about the math or the placement, the writing or communication that's from an anonymous attendee at 3:55? Do I complete it after advising? So I believe those are informational holds.
They might be informational holds, yeah. So just click on the holds and it should give you details of what the holds are. These are not holds that should prevent you from registering for anything.
Yeah, so some holds are informational, just to give you an update on what's happening, and others are holds that require action. So you want to make sure you click on the hold and know the details to know whether it's information just for you to know about, or if you need to take action and do something. And again, that can be,
yeah, and we can address that also at the registration support session. You know, we can take a look at it if, you know, if the student has a hard time understanding what they should enroll in. Okay, I saw a couple of questions about adding a minor. Okay, so the same thing, if you're interested in adding a minor, I would first go speak to a faculty advisor in that department. Okay, so if you want to do a philosophy minor, if you want to do a psychology minor, you know, you can look at the course catalog and see what type of courses are required for that minor. But then I would also go and speak to the faculty advisor about it to make sure that it's something that, you know, you want to do and that it's going to enhance your major.
And again, for this summer, we want you to complete all of the orientation steps. And so if you're thinking about a minor, that's something to explore in the fall semester. So right now, this summer, we just want to make sure you are good and set to go for fall. And any minors or changing of majors can happen once we're back in the academic year. Another question, can I attend a major advising before the webinar? So no, the major advising is the webinar that's going to be hosted on June 22nd. So that is when you want to attend it. And that is the soonest date that you can participate in the major specific webinar.
Here's a good question about AP test credit, which is really important for freshmen. So I would hold off on enrolling in any classes that you've taken an exam for. Okay, so there is a window where you can drop the classes up until, the first 2 weeks of the semester. You can drop and it won't be an issue. But after that, you will get a W on your transcript.
And there's another question, when is transfer student orientation? We'll have different dates or times to choose from. So again, for transfer students, you're gonna wanna click on the HSS transfer option, and then it takes you to the steps. So the orientation is different elements. So it's meeting with your, doing the major advising webinar, the optional activity of meeting with one-on-one with your major advisor or our student success team and advisors. So all of those steps and those elements, that is our orientation. So it's not one particular thing, it's a culmination of different experiences and support. Can you show us how to get to the general education modules for transfer students? I can't find it. So those will be found on the Titan Orientation Programs website. So again, fullerton.edu/orientation, and it's the it's the second step. And if you click on that button, it walks you through the instructions. It gives you screenshots of it. So you're going to want to go to the Titan Orientation Programs website, fullerton.edu/orientation.
I'm going to put the site on here.
Thank you.
Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, I think
I don't see it anymore.
I think I dismissed it, but.
Okay.
So fullerton.edu/orientation for that. Student Angie was told that advising was full, but I still have a change to, would I still have a chance to speak to an advisor? I would encourage you to email HSS success team at fullerton.edu what you see on the screen, because the advising sessions should not be full. So we may need to look more specifically into your situation. So Angie, we look forward for an email from you so we can further support you. How do you know what courses to take and which courses pertain to your major? So again, based on if you're a freshman or transfer, there's that step that connects you to the roadmaps, to your major advising page, and also to the catalog. So you'll be able to see those courses there. But again, very important, attend the major specific advising webinar, which is step 1 for both freshman and transfer. Oh, go ahead, Maya.
Okay, so this question about we're planning to switch our major at the beginning of the fall semester. I'm assuming this is a freshman. I don't know if you're a transfer student or a freshman. If you're a freshman, your first couple of semesters is going to basically be GE classes. So you probably won't be taking anything in the major just yet. But once the, so I would go to the registration support session again, and then, we can help you, select the appropriate GE classes for your first semester. And then you can switch your major and then plan from there. But yeah, it's not going to be detrimental.
And again, how do you schedule meetings with an advisor is by following the steps on our website and signing up for the major specific advising registration support if you're a freshman, and for transfers, the webinar and the optional one-on-one support available on the academic advising side. Holds have not, so the hold has not been cleared after 3 days. If that's referring to the general education advising hold and you're a freshman, again, we want you to reach out to Randy Montes. That was in the slide from a few slides ago. Maya, was it R. Montes?
Yes, R.A. Montes at fullerton.edu.
Oh, for some reason it's not allowing me to type. Would you mind typing it?
Yeah.
and AP scores. I already addressed that. Part of the honors program. Mai, do you know if honors program students will be contacted?
You know, I don't know. The registration appointment should still be in the portal. I don't know if honors will have any type of special registration support. So they should contact the honors program coordinator.
Yeah, or if you want, email us at this website, HSS
Yeah.
Success Team at fullerton.edu, and we'll direct you to the proper person. All right, so another switch of majors, we addressed that. Directed, oh, GE modules. There, Mai, you wanted to type that in before, right? May you please show us how to get to the GE modules for transfer students? You were going to put the TOPS website.
Yeah, because on let's see, on that website it will have step by step on how to get to your GE modules.
Yeah, specifically it's step 2.
Yeah.
And if you're a transfer, you would pick that one. It literally has screenshots.
GE.
Just to confirm, June 22nd is only when transfer students can register for classes or both transfer and freshmen. Technically, your appointment opens on June 22nd, but again, we want you to complete and get that major specific advising, attend those webinars, and get the one-on-one registration support for freshmen and transfer students. You have the option to get that support. So again, we don't want you registering until after you receive the proper academic advising from our team. Another minor question we have addressed.
Yes, and minors don't have to be in the same college. You know, you can have a major in psychology, and if you want a minor in arts, you know, or child and adolescent development or whatever, it doesn't have to be in the same college.
So even though your major advising day is on the June 22nd, is okay that we have registration that day as well. So a lot of the webinars will be hosted on the 22nd, but it's typically the days following that additional support will be available. So again, we want to make sure you get all of the advising before you register for classes, and make sure you ideally get your schedule checked off by an advisor to ensure you're in the correct courses. Paying to change your major, Mai, do you want to touch up on that?
It's usually $10 if there is a fee. I think your first one might be free, but if there is a fee, it's $10.
So for transfer students, to make sure you're in the right classes, again, attend the major specific advising webinar, and then afterwards at 10, so this is for transfer only, at 10:30 on June 22nd, you'll be able to sign up for one-on-one major advising support or general support, which we can check off your schedule. So this is the website by 10:30 on June 22nd to sign up for those slots to have someone review your courses. Okay. A lot of major and minor questions I'm seeing.
Yeah.
How do we apply for HSS 100? So HSS 100 is a program for freshmen only. So hopefully a freshman is asking this question. You do not apply to the program, you register for the course over orientation. So when you get for freshmen during registration support, they'll likely go over this course a little more in detail. But again, you don't apply to the program, you enroll in the course. And there's only 125 seats available. So we highly encourage freshmen who are really looking to get a Fresh Start and learn about resources and get a peer mentor and get connected to alum to sign up for HSS 100. So enroll in the course. So I'm seeing a lot of GE module questions. So if you are having difficulties with the GE modules, again, Randy Montes is your go-to person. This webinar will be posted in a couple of days and you'll be able to get access to all of that information. So as long as you're waiting at least 24 hours and then maybe some time, I see some folks still have that hold. So we want to make sure we get that release if you've done it and it's been more than a few days.
I'm answering a question about when will transcripts show completely on the degree audit?
Does everyone have the same time to enroll, or are times different for every student? So again, for this time around, all freshmen and transfer do have, technically, they can start registering June 22nd, but again, we want you to get all of the advising before registering for classes, but moving forward, registration dates and times are based off of like class standing and how many units you have completed. So it goes from students who are ready to graduate, seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. So moving forward is different than what it is right now. A lot of minor questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. We want, yeah, we love minors to complement that major. How to use Canvas for this upcoming semester, any apps you would recommend. So I know university is working on some training and support for students to get comfortable with that software. So that's to come. So again, make sure you check your CSUF email. How do I sign up for classes? We reviewed that. You're going to do that on our website, or sign up with meet with an advisor, attend those webinars and get that one-on-one support. All the links are on our website. When's the deadline to register for classes? Once you get all your advising support, we definitely want you to register as soon as you're done with that. But technically, you can still register for classes even
Up until the first 2 weeks of classes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the longer you wait,
the less classes.
Yeah.
Less classes will be available. So once you have all your advising support and you get that schedule checked off, do it.
Connie, do you want to address this one real quick about when will final days and times for class meetings be posted since some are TBD?
Oh, say that again. I'm trying to find that one.
It's from an anonymous. It says, when will final days and times for class meetings be posted since some are TBD in the class schedule? So I'm assuming.
Yeah, so the college is working on that. And so most of I can speak to HSS, most of our classes will be all like virtual. I think a handful are requesting to be in person, and that needs approval process still. But what you'll learn at orientation is about synchronous and asynchronous learning. So synchronous means there's a specific day and time, Monday, Wednesday at 10, when there'll be a live online version of class, and asynchronous means that you might have to do some readings or post on our university system, like respond to short questions or respond to other people in your classes. So those will be updated throughout the semester. The goal is that instructors will inform you of those updates. Cleared. Let's see.
Question about parking. Are freshmen able to pay for parking? Everybody has to pay for parking.
But given that we are virtual, I would maybe hold off on that until we get more information and when we are able to go back in person.
Yeah.
We still got 44 of you here. Thank you for sticking around. Switching a major, we talked about that. Oh, parking, we just discussed. AP scores, we discussed. Minors, we discussed.
This is a great question on the transcript. Sorry. For transfer students, where should we send our official transcripts, and can we send them electronically? Yes, absolutely. You should send them electronically. If you are coming from one of the community colleges in California, I think they all participate in transmitting electronic transcripts, and that is the quickest and safest option. So definitely do that. But transcripts will be sent to CSUF admissions and records.
Question on how many classes should students be taking. So that really varies by student. 12 units is full-time. Students take on average, I would say 12 to 15. Would you agree, Mai?
Yes.
So that's if you want to be a full-time student, and some students may know they only want to be part-time. And so again, you'll get more information and can ask these questions to advisors when that time comes.
Yeah, if you plan to graduate, you know, within 4 years, 15 units a semester is what's recommended.
Or you could take 12 and 12 and take summer classes or winter classes. So there's different ways to reach that unit. So it's on average 30 a year. You need 120 to graduate. But again, these specific advising questions will be addressed in your major and the one-on-one support offered through our team.
Do you want to get this question about the support for students with disabilities?
Yes. I'm trying to get to that. What time was that at?
4:15.
4:15. Our counselors that work with students with disabilities available. Yep. So on our website, both for transfers and freshmen, the additional resources with disability support services. So we have, we call them specialists at the university and not counselors. So you'll be able to connect with the disability support services specialist. And there's a designated specialist for students in our College of Humanities and Social Sciences. So we encourage you to go to that website, get registered through the Disability Support Office. And registered ultimately means get connected so they know that you want their support. So again, that's on the additional resources on both freshman and transfer tabs on our website. So on June 22nd, just to confirm, that is when major advising is happening, what major webinars are happening for freshmen and transfers. For transfers, right after that webinar, you will be able to sign up with the major advisor one-on-one or meet with our student success team or sign up for a time slot to meet with our student success team. So yes, June 22nd is a big day. Mark it on your calendar. It's also when you can begin registering, but we want you to, again, meet with an advisor before registering. So please add all of these dates on the calendar, on a phone, on a piece of paper, somewhere, because we want you to remember all of these dates. All right. Mai, do you see anything else?
I think that we've covered everything.
Summer and winter. Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
CJ?
CJ 300. There was a question about, it seems like all of the CJ 300 classes are full. Are they going to open up more classes? You will be able to ask this question at the criminal justice webinar. I don't know if they're opening up more sections at this time.
Another question is summer and winter session available at CSUF? So yes, currently we offer winter session and summer sessions. So you can take courses during those times if you like. Sometimes students will take classes at the community college during winter or summer, but again, always want to connect with the academic advisor to make sure that the class will transfer to Cal State Fullerton if you're choosing that option. But you're always welcome to take a class if it's offered at Fullerton during those sessions. So yeah, so we can do some advisor checks. We'll be able to review your schedule. Mai, do you want to share how you'll be able to check their cart?
You know, I don't think we've discussed those details, to be honest with you, but I would imagine that we'll be able to do screen sharing, or we'll take the students into breakout rooms, and then we'll be able to just, you know, hopefully pull up the students' records and see what's in the cart.
As you can see, we're finalizing some of our details, but by June 22nd, we will have a plan. So if you are wanting to get your schedule checked by shopping cart, there will be a process in place at that time.
Yeah. If anything, we will be able to pull up your records on our end and see what you've chosen.
Will academic advisors reach out to you, or do you reach out to them? For this summer, you're going to want to sign up and follow all those steps. In the future, unless you're part of a specific program, advisors will reach out to you, but if not, you can expect that you should be reaching out to academic advisors as you need it. And we encourage every semester, especially before you're about to register, because you register every semester.
It's a good question about joining clubs.
Yeah, so we're still expecting to have a robust and vibrant amount of options for students to get involved and connected. And so just so you all know, we've also experienced virtual learning and engagement this past spring via half of the spring semester. So students would host meetings virtual via Zoom meetings. They would host meetings and gatherings and spaces and have fun things like Netflix parties, movie screening parties in that sense, but it'd all be done virtually. So our students have been really creative on how to still create that community and that sense of belonging. And they know lots of new students are going to be joining the Titan community, and they're ready and excited to join you into their organizations. So specific links for GE modules for transfer students. So that's at that Titan Orientation Programs website. Mai, for some reason, it's not allowing me to type. Could you type that second to bottom question?
So is that fullerton.edu
// orientation. I'm a transfer student and use the link for step 2 for GE modules. I'm assuming they're transfer, send me to 2 YouTube videos. Am I in the wrong place?
Probably not.
So if you're on the Titan Orientation Programs website and you're at step 2 and you click transfer, then that is the information that you should be accessing and viewing.
Yes.
Freshmen have a different process, but transfers, that sounds right. All right, I know we got through most of them. A lot of them are very similar. If we did not get a chance to get to your question, again, email us at hsssuccessteam@fullerton.edu. And again, please, please, please complete all of those steps, freshmen 1 through 6, transfer 1 through 5, by the designated dates that are listed or suggested dates that are listed. And we're so excited to have you on June 22nd for those major specific webinars and all the advising that will follow. So June 22nd is really the launching point for you to get the advising that you need, but you got to sign up and register for that support. So make sure you register and sign up. So from June 22nd and on, you're able to get the advising support that will help you register for fall classes, which we all want you to do. All right, Maya, any last thoughts on your end?
No, I hope we covered everybody's questions. If we did miss any of your questions, please email us at the HSS Success Team. And I really do hope that all of you will come to one of the support sessions, and we will help you and we will figure it out.
Yes, you are not alone in this process. So come to these sessions, sign up for them, register, and visit us because we are here. We want you to be in the correct classes. We want you to have the right start at Cal State Fullerton. And the way to do that is get that advising support. So we look forward to seeing you in the next couple weeks. You'll be seeing Maya and us in different spaces to support you in our area. So again, thank you so much for the folks still on. We so appreciate you being with us this afternoon, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
Take care, everyone.